Well, it's crazy to think there's only 3.5 more months left in 2017.
That is insane. If you set goals for the year, but really haven't achieved them quite yet, Missy O is here to tell you how to get back on track and get her done. Welcome back.
Good morning.
So what are your first tips as far as going, a lot of people just were like, look, I'm never going to achieve it. I'm going to throw this out the window and just enjoy the last 3 months.
Well, right, and people kind of forget that the months are going along and they lose track of time. It's like, oh my goodness, we're almost at the end of the year. And one thing I find is that people have distractions and restrictions that really hold them back from achieving their goals, and they kind of lean back on those things versus going towards their goals.
What's some of the negative effects if people are like, oh, well, since we're so close to the next New Year's, I'm just going to wait until next January for 2018's New Year's?
Well, and those are the things that usually carry on year after year after year. And something that's important to know is if it's on your mind, it won't leave your mind until you either do something about it or totally let it go. And so when we have those things that nag at us, and sometimes those things come up the most often, I find, when we can't do anything about them, right? When we're laying in bed, all of a sudden 3 o'clock in the morning, we wake up, it's like, oh yeah, I have to do that. And you can't do anything about it, so you get frustrated and discouraged, and then you feel deflated. So the time to do those things is when you really know you can, and to write them out and make a list.
And what about just kind of looking at your progress, going, okay, maybe I'm not going to get to that, but hey, at least I've gotten to this and I'm on making some progress.
Well, it's so important, I think, to give yourselves kind of attaboys along the way, because if you are waiting for that long-term goal or the pie in the sky type thing to happen and you don't have those things happen, you can feel really deflated and you start to get discouraged, and you start just let go of things. So really setting those little mini goals along the way are so important, and having people that will help to lift you along the way is important too.
I was going to say, I think it's all about, too, who you surround yourself with. And the more you're honest about, hey, Chris, my goal was this, and I haven't reached it yet, but, I'd really like you to encourage me to drink more swamp water.
It's the little things in life, right? Well, I think it's important, too, when you're looking for who's going to help you, make sure it's someone that will help you and not discourage you, and someone that really knows something about it. To have someone that's going to help you that has never done anything before that you want to do, well, then they might take you down the wrong path. But having an accountability coach or a partner is so important, because if you can take into them and saying, hey, I achieved this goal, I went here, I did this, they're like, great job, now what's next? What can help you keep you going along the path?
So what if you just completely have made no progress, it just has been a tough year? What do you suggest to people that had big aspirations but just isn't working out?
I say every day is a new day. We all have distractions and we all have restrictions. So if you can look at what some of your distractions are and really list those things out, take a look at what your daily requirements are, the things you have to do, and plan those things out. But then also look at the restrictions, look at those things that are holding you back, those things that you're like, oh, it's no big deal. Well, really it might be a big deal, but if we're not taking a look at it and avoiding it, avoidance is a huge, huge factor.
I think it's almost like making that priority list. We always put the job, the kids, everything at the top of the list. We put ourselves or our goals down at the bottom. You almost have to kind of write it out and tell yourself, this is a top priority for me this year.
Definitely. And writing it out is key. It's so important. I hear people say, prioritize your schedule. Well, really, it's schedule your priorities. Because when you schedule your priorities, you don't have room for the other things. But quite often we have those other things that get in the way. And so that's why making that list is huge.
Yeah.
When we come back, let's talk about balance, because that's one of the big things. It's so you can put a goal out there, but if you let the rest of your life go, then there's not a lot of fulfillment in it. So when we come back, we'll talk about balance right after this.